Some say writing fiction is just about creativity in writing. Oh my goodness, come on, smart people. You cannot just impose yourself in the creativity or just say it's talent. Talent is not enough. I have to clarify a thing here. Your knowledge, your cleverness, and your achievement as English language students are tested by your writing skills. Some of you are good in academic writing, but rests. I'm not questioning it, but surely prove yourself that you are good enough as the candidate of English Education Bachelor. Creative writing is the only hope you can trust if you are not good enough in academic writing. Moreover, creative writing is the shortcut to conclude all your abilities from language technical skills, knowledge, and creativity. Here I'm talking about how you can write a creative writing in fiction, while what you just need is just drafting. This is the point, the only point that I can say about making fiction. Of course, for God's sake, drafting. A draft for fiction functions to stick the issue you want to share. Am I speaking an issue here? Yes, get your ass off. When I'm talking about fiction, in my perspective, I'm talking about how you try to say something in freestyle writing. Whether you want to say it, love is fuck, life is money, racism is bad, a woman is not a sex slave, or whatever you want. Fiction should imply a thing, an issue, a good point for people to know. The smart way of art is making people understand a thing without thinking hard. Schematize your plot by drafting it on the template. Scheme is a brilliant way to make your ideas keep in its sight. If you do not make any scheme for your story, it is very obvious that your ideas can be fading during the process of writing. Scheme also functions to make a clear point of your story. Your scheme will be your draft, and your draft must be having a template. Just call it a template where your story begins and ends. To see it clear, just take a look at the simple example here. Maybe you have been very familiar about the structure of the plot in the story. Generally speaking, a story must be separated into three parts: beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning, there must be introduction. In the middle, there must be conflict and climax. In the end, there must be resolution. Sometimes you want to make details or specific cases in each gradual transition of your story. It's very possible. Maybe you want to expose then provoke an incident that makes the problem gets raised. When the crisis comes, you want to show the climax of the problem that the main character has to face. It is actually the freedom, the liberty you can explore more and more. It is your story. You can arrange it everything you want. Even if you can start your story with problem, not with exposition, it is fine. Maybe you want to introduce your story with a part of the climax to make your reader curious about your story. It is fine. The more you can drag the reader's curiosity, the better way your story will get eaten up by the readers. Your draft should be in this way. Making parts in your scheme will help you out of the problem of making story. Take a look at this one. There are 6 pictures. Each picture shows its part, from beginning to end. If it is only a compound of pictures, you will still understand it. Even if it is out of order, you can still understand it. Maybe a reader has different perspectives to each other. It's very possible to do. However, you are here not making a compound of pictures. These pictures function like your draft. You must know what you must write. To give understanding of the picture, you can see the narrative text next to it. There was a good husband who had 2 children. He was a lawyer. One day, he had a case of a murder done by a man. As a lawyer, he tried to follow the law. In the court, he explained why the murderer was guilty. He had to be fair even if the murderer was the husband of the sitter for his children. People were discussing about the case, and they were proud of the lawyer for clearing the case. It seems so easy to understand. I know, even your grandmother knows it very well. It is a story of a lawyer. He caught a case of murder and he solved it very well. People are happy. Seriously, it was very easy to understand. Even formalin and borax dealers also understand it easily. To make it complex, just take a look at the slide. The pictures are same, but you have something to tell more than the story before. Colorado, 1818. There was a good husband who had 2 children. He was a lawyer. One day, he had a case of murder by a nigger. The nigger murdered a white man who tried to rape his wife. As a lawyer, he tried to follow the law. In the court, he explained why the murderer was guilty for murdering a white man. He had to be fair, even if the murderer was the husband of the sitter for his children. After that, the lawyer sacked the black sitter. People were discussing about how bad black people were, and they were proud of the lawyer for clearing the case. From the narration, you will see something. I put some kind of information, place and the year. From this information, you know that Colorado is in the United States and the year was 1818. If you are a good reader, you must read a lot. You must know that in the United States in that year, there was racial issue. You have to keep it in your mind. Then you also find out something more. It was a black man who murdered a white man because the white man tried to rape his wife. Wow. It is a black guy who killed the white guy during the racial issue. Indirectly, you put your knowledge to your reader. You put your critique about racism inside of your story. Then, after knowing this issue, you will reopen your knowledge about history of racism in the United States. Of course, you will see something. You will know a lot of things about violence toward black people, injustice toward black people, and so on and so on. So, the murder toward the black people is actually your satire to criticize people who have racial thoughts in their mind. So you see, it is a clever way to say something. Good people know how to criticize without being detected that he is criticizing something. Now you see the points. There are some important points in making your draft. You can arrange from where you start your story, but still do not forget the issue you want to share. From the example, I have shown you how to say racial issue in fiction. It is very related to human history. Details, just like place, time, things, it will give the vibes of your story. If you give details more, you are not only helping the characters to show their power, but you can also inform the reader about knowledge of time, place, case, issue, history, or other things. How you use words will affect how the readers have things in his mind. I hope you can still remember how I explained about the diction choice. If you are angry, just use harsh words. If you want to be honest, just say something honestly without hesitation. If you are afraid to say, just use analogy, figure of speech, or other ways. You can use satire, direct, harsh, or any style of words. It all hides the reader's emotion. Just remember that. The pictures are just the example. You can draft your own works with scratches or rough idea on a paper. Decide your big issue, support it by smaller issue. Just like the big issue is gender inequality and smaller supports are rape, women trafficking, role and domestication, and etc. Decide your main character, villains, helper, and etc. Setting should be supportive and relevant to making your characters. Arrange it, structurally or not, it's up to you. A to B, B to C, E to D, D to B, and etc. Do not let plot holes in your story because it is very, very lack. If you have a question how to start writing fiction after having the draft, of course, don't fucking around. Just write, and write. After finishing it, reread it. Fix the grammar, use applications just like Grammarly. It is free, for fuck's sake. Punctuation, check it. Innovate conflict if you can. Improve your poor vocabularies. And give it score. Are you satisfied or not? Trust me, if you try, you will have something in your hand. Even if it is not masterpiece, at least you have a piece to be your experience in creating something. I'm pretty sure it is the biggest first step for you to get further. I have something to say to fire up your energy to write. Better make 1,000 mistakes than never give a try. Better try in trying than live with nothing. A good teacher teaches from heart, not from book. A good teacher teaches from example, not formulation. An English good teacher must be good storyteller. Agree? Sounds good enough. Now it's time for you to make something to attest that you are ready enough in writing something. Just take a look at the pictures that I have provided. What you just have to do is just select a story of these pictures, then try to write it like what I gave to you before in the example. Do not forget to insert an issue and a critic in your story. Thank you and good luck.